All right. Well, good day, everyone. Thank you for joining us here for our session. It's always great to have customers that are right in the midst of their transformation journey. And today, it's great to talk through here at VJ as far as your path to operational excellence with Appian. And maybe with that, you could give us an introduction and just tell us a little bit about you, VJ.
First of all, good morning, everyone, and thank you so very much, Jake, for inviting me to share my insights with the great audience here. I have a little over 22 years of experience in the technology industry. I've played a variety of roles through these years, largely focusing on delivering large initiatives, providing strategic roadmaps for technology transformation, primarily, if not always, in the insurance sector. Currently at Canada Life, I head business automation and content management technology solutions, which includes solution building the capabilities, and delivery execution as well. So within business automation, I have the accountability for workflows, case management, rules engine, decision management, and of course document management as well. So one of my mandates is to build the capabilities to deliver consistent solutions across the enterprise, which are scalable, repeatable, and of course delivers business value across our enterprise. And I'm really excited to dwell into our conversation here and share my experience.
Likewise. Well, appreciate it. Well, let me kind of set the stage here. So, one of the first statistics that I like about Canada Life and your story is, just the age. I mean, you're three separate companies: Great West Life, London Life, and Canada Life merged to create the Canada Life Assurance Company, founded in 1847, second largest overall in Canada today. So we're not talking about a firm that's just a few months old. We're talking about a long tenured, incredible company. You offer insurance, wealth management, healthcare benefits, A+ rated, of course. And so with these kind of incredible statistics, I mean, I can only imagine the day in the life of you, your teams, your colleagues that are fulfilling that brand promise. How do you see what happens here in the context of this tenure and this story as really prompting this need for change within your organization?
Yeah, I wanted to acknowledge that, yes, it was in the 1800s. To put things into context, we are a 175 plus year old company, which is deeply rooted into making a positive impact to all the lives of the Canadians. And our mission is to improve the financial, physical, and mental well-being of Canadians. And we currently serve 1 in 3 Canadians across the country. Just from a culture standpoint, we are a people first. That's our culture. Mm-hmm. So we give a lot of importance to people, and that's who we are here for. From a business unit standpoint, like you mentioned, we are in the individual insurance, individual wealth, group life and health, group retirement services, as well as investment business lines. Just by being existing for 175 years, the company has grown both organically and through acquisitions. And through acquisitions, as any other company which had this type of a growth, it comes with a variety of technologies, variety of IT systems. So we are always in the path of rationalizing and modernizing our systems. That's always part of our strategy. And technology being an enabler, we use technology to effect that change at speed.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
No, and thanks for that, because when I think about just your brand, your reputation, I mean, your colleague-led. Clearly, you are a people-first organization that has come through from the beginning. And so, when you think about how technology complements those individuals, I'm just curious if you can give some contrast, maybe for what necessitated the change as it relates to your, technology landscape, legacy versus kind of your vision for the future here?
Yeah. So the primary driver was very tech specific. It was it originated as a technology keep the currency green initiative, where we had our existing legacy underwriting and workflow platform went out of support, and it went off all kinds of support, no basic support, no extended support, no sustained support. So it went out of support, and it's been out of support for a couple of years now. So that necessitated us to look for alternate technology solutions, which are modular, which encourages loose coupling between services, which enables cloud native architecture and aligns to BPMN and DMN standards, provides REST APIs for interfaces, and also offers flexible CI/CD integration.
Nice.
And can support multiple IDEs for our development teams. And also, last but not the least, ability to leverage our emerging technologies, right? AI, ML, predictive models. So when we were evaluating all these alternate tech solutions with these requirements, Appian met most, if not all of them. So we chose Appian as our enterprise workflow platform. And that's the technology component. But it also, even though it started as a tech initiative, it comes with a lot of business benefits. When we re-platform the old legacy unsupported platform over to the new solution using Appian, it will also, it'll reduce the manual tracking of workflows and tasks related to the workflows. It will streamline the workflows, simplify the task management processes. It improves client experience with less turnaround, the end user, the client being end customers. And also it would provide a single workbench for our internal staff. Currently, they go to multiple different systems, multiple systems, toggle between these screens, which is always a painful experience. So by building a single workbench, that improves our internal staff experience, and it enables parallel processing of case and the associated task, which in turn reduces the turnaround time. And of course, it also would provide out-of-the-box reporting capabilities, which we are currently not using, but we have plans to use it. But these reporting capabilities will provide insights to drive operational efficiencies.
And work with the team.
Absolutely.
No, that's great. Yeah, and all too often we hear stories of how the colleague is really forced to be the intelligence, which is great as far as the relationship. Yet it's unfortunate because they don't have that single view, and being able to take their customer on the journey, your perspective, your brokers, and work through that. And so maybe that's a good transition as you think about maybe some of the the journey here. So as others sit in the audience today and various levels of maybe prospective customers just evaluating maybe an Appian engagement to existing customers, you start thinking about maybe your journey and how this is the first in the total company to date. Maybe the second aspect of this is kind of your personal journey, because you didn't come into this from the start. You came into this, it was already in flight, and that's got to be a whole different set of maybe emotions and others maybe in the audience can relate to, and any perspectives there that you could share.
Yeah, I wanted to start off by saying, like most, if not all, the large organizations, we are working on various transformation, modernization initiatives. And why do we do that? To increase the business value, increase operational efficiencies, and like I mentioned, as per our mission, we always look for ways to serve our customers. Canada Life being a Canadian company, our customers being Canadians, serve them in a better way. So again, like I mentioned, 175-year-old company comes with legacy technologies, disparate systems, technical debt comes along with it. So to your first question, the journey from an organization standpoint, at least in the last few years, we have embarked on various business process and workflow automation initiatives to gain all the business benefits that I mentioned earlier. And technology being an enabler, we started using Appian to perform these or build these workflow solutions. It makes it easier to deliver that value sooner. So that's where we are as an organization. Personally, like you mentioned, it was about a year ago since I started getting involved and started leading the overall delivery accountability for this legacy underwriting platform, replatform initiative. I started getting involved midway, and when I got involved, the project was not going as planned. There are various reasons for it, but one of the key contributing factors for that is there was vastly underestimation of the requirement complexity. We are a large company. We have so many different parts of the organization, so many different systems. So the project kicked off, but very soon we realized that the requirement complexity was much beyond what we had anticipated.
Planned, yeah.
So yes, somebody coming into that type of a scenario, definitely there was significant pressure to bring it back on track. And bringing it back onto track, we did that by first taking a pause, bringing the stakeholders into a room. We did like a detailed requirement analysis and refinement for close to a month. And the other thing that we did was there were various work streams within this initiative. Work streams are technology based as well as system based. Because we have so many different systems, it had to be broken down into work streams. We have like about 7 work streams within this initiative. So the way those work streams were organized pre me coming into picture was a little bit different. So we kind of organized the work streams and the delivery structure to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of the delivery as well. And definitely we beefed up the governance for our internal stakeholders as well as our partners. One of the primary partner being Appian, because Appian work stream within this engagement is the primary work stream.
Appian customer success.
Yeah, and it's a large program, multiple work streams, multiple teams. So we encourage and affect a very high collaboration culture. We are distributed, the teams are distributed, and finally we came up with a robust KPI structure to measure the progress of that initiative.
Yeah, it's great. No, and I commend you as you came in. I really, you sought to understood, you were hands-on, you were really able to work with the teams, and I think that really influenced. And it's maybe a good segue as we talk about, some of the challenges. And when you think about how this massive undertaking, and to your point, some of the resident challenges that were there that maybe had not been anticipated before, and you really dig into those and work through them. Kind of how have you approached that as far as evaluating those, working through those, and some of the rules of engagement that you've created maybe as a follow-on result of that, if you will.
Yeah, so I'll break that into a few components. First of all, when we embarked on this journey, it's a large initiative, so typically there will be some resistance within the organization. But we overcame that resistance pretty, I wouldn't say easily, but that was not a roadblock for us because of the fact that we being in the risk business, our focus is always to improve the risk posture. So running some of the key business process as it relates to underwriting, these processes were running on unsupported platform with the risk of issues either getting addressed in a very long cycle, which would impact the application processing time, which would impact the customer experience, which has multiple negative consequences. So this being the premise, backed by all the business benefits, business bought into it. So of course, as soon as we kickstarted, initiated this program, how soon we can build this alternate solution, how much it's going to cost.
Right.
Those were always the sticking points, as with any of these large initiatives. So we had a very robust business case, which incorporates all the requirements, the business financial benefits, business benefits, technology benefits. So that's how we overcame the resistance in the first place. From a technology integration, we performed a very detailed assessment of this alternate technology platform in terms of functionality and features, scalability, reusability, how well the support services are available to us, business intelligence and MI reporting, flexibility for future development in addition to what we are currently building. And one of the key criteria that we had was Canadian data regulations. We have a very, very high focus, not focus, it's actually a requirement to have data persisted within the Canadian borders, right?
Absolutely.
So that's another one. And of course, the platform supporting modern architecture. So after this thorough assessment, we chose Appian. Now that the solution that we are building on Appian platform had to be integrated with some of our other systems. It has to be, because Appian solution cannot just operate on its own. So we have to integrate it with other systems, and the integrations are through APIs backed by an API gateway. I already spoke about the data regulations, so that became one of the key requirements. And lastly, from a skill set standpoint, when we started this program, we did not have in-house Appian capabilities. So we partnered with the Appian Professional Services, and they are actually delivering the solution for us.
That's great.
But other work streams and other integrating systems are done by different teams. But in my current role, like I mentioned earlier on, my mandate is to build internal capabilities as well, and I'm doing that through upskilling existing team members, reskilling some of them, taking a POC approach, kind of less complex type of use cases are getting done hands-on by our internal team members.
And I like, from a change management perspective, how closely aligned you've been, over-communicating, at least that's my outside looking in, and that's been good, especially as you start to do the upskill, the technology organization, change management, the business, and working through it. And maybe as we transition now to say a jumping off point, if you will, with the platform. And so what we've seen, from our life insurers more so than our property casualty, is some of the legacy technology systems that are still either in play or parts of them are in play. And I was curious if you could speak to maybe some of your integration points as far as how you've kind of leveraged the cloud native capability of the platform. We see kind of large shifts, if you will, away from waterfall methodology from a change management, Appian being, of course, full agile, and how you approach that, any insights you could share, I guess, with the audience on, kind of your approach to that, if you will.
Yeah, so any technology replatforming initiative, it cannot be done in like one big bang approach, right? Because operations has to continue, business cannot stop. So careful considerations were given to the new solutions that are built and how they should seamlessly integrate with some of the existing IT systems. And from a technology standpoint as well as from a business process standpoint. So we are taking a phased approach in making this transition. So the phased approach being we are starting off with the certain insurance products to be built or onboarded into the solution that we are building, and the rollout will be to certain user groups, and the subsequent phases will be to enhance the solutions that we are currently building to onboard additional products and rolling it out too. So that's the phased approach. All the integrations with the systems, which I already mentioned, are made through an integration platform. And additionally, we are also using Kafka for eventing, messaging, and streaming. From an Appian deployment standpoint, we are currently using the compare and deploy option that is available in Appian, but we're also looking at integrating Appian with our own CI/CD platform using the APIs. And this is like a large use case and a complex use case.
Right.
Underwriting in itself is a large, complex use case. So that's why we are taking this phased approach. But even for other large use cases that we are just embarking on, we are taking a POC approach to test out the technical feasibility and the functional nature of that particular use case. And one of the key guiding principles that we always keep in mind and we actually follow is architect the solution with future in mind, and develop the current phases considering future extensibility.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you do that rapid prototyping, be able to meet with the teams and get that feedback, and then be able to go back and pivot is significant. And so maybe as a transitionary point, you talk about the complexity, you talk about not just some parts of the business, the significance of it. Maybe you could help the audience. You are working with Appian's customer success team, and with the speed that goes with the platform and some of the agility. Any kind of feedback, if you will, of how you've been working with Appian directly through this journey?
Yeah. Overall, the feedback is great. But I'll kind of dive into it. So as I mentioned, I came in midway. When I came into this program, wasn't going great because of the reason which I mentioned, vastly underestimating the requirement complexity. And we have, like every company will have our own nuances of those business processes. The moment there was an acknowledgement that, okay, this is the problem area, Appian and Canada Life collaborated on that's where I mentioned that we took a pause, got everybody into the room for close to a month to do the detailed requirements and planning sessions. And since then, it's been like a great partnership with Appian. The product backlog and even the total story points are contractually committed, and there is a extremely robust scope tracker or a scope swap process. So that's on how Appian delivers the work, and just from a delivery methodology standpoint, we run the dev and QA in an agile manner. So we have been at this program for close to a year and a half now, and we'll be soon going live. But the overall work is split into releases within this large duration. Even though it seems like a large duration and having one big go live, it sounds like waterfall, but we are actually adopting a lot of the agile methodologies. With various sprints, sprints within various releases. There is a lot of feedback loop, retrospective feedback loop with our sprint demos with our business users. So everything gets pushed out to UAT, and that's where our business users test them. So that's how we run our sprints. to your specific question of how our relationship has been with Appian customer service, the Appian team who is delivering the work for us, a great team led by a technical lead and a technical delivery manager who are in locksteps with the other work streams, all the key stakeholders within Canada Life, including myself, the product owner, the business users, the various development teams. The agile nature of the project, just coupled with Appian platform being a modular low-code platform, it actually increases the speed at which the solutions are built and delivered.
Absolutely. And it's through this, maybe, part of the evaluation from the technology team, Appian became the enterprise standard internally. I don't know if you speak to that at all.
That's correct. That's correct. So the solution that we are currently building, which will go live in a few months, is the first large solution. But with all the technical benefits that I mentioned already, along with the great customer success team and that we have interact with Appian for, and we also use Appian Accelerate, the on-demand service. So with all of that, and of course all the technical capabilities of Appian, we have chosen Appian as our enterprise workflow rules case management platform.
That's great. Well, I appreciate the partnership. So, well, we'd be remiss if we didn't have some sort of an AI component here, Vijay, as far as our conversation today. And I would be curious. We heard a lot on the main stage today, as far or this week, as far as Appian's private AI strategy. We've really seen it really tick up as an industry in the last 12 to 18 months. I mean, we're moving beyond the hype to practical use cases. And I'd be curious, Appian's very clearly focused on, mixed autonomy, private AI, ensuring that your data is private, giving your team the benefits and not, releasing that from a public domain and public models, LLMs and such. And so I'm curious, if you've had any kind of consideration within your organization. We see mixes of some that are open, some that are absolutely closed off, and kind of where your team is, as well as kind of the enablement of that.
Yeah, absolutely, Jake. I don't lead AI capabilities, but in the current context, in the current environment that we are in, one cannot isolate and draw boundaries not to think about AI. We have to consider AI features baked into the solution, not just for the sake of using AI, but we fully understand that AI will definitely play a key role in augmenting automated decisions, and definitely wanted to have that capability while we selected the platform. So that was one of the criteria for when we assessed the various platforms. Currently, our immediate focus is to build workflows, but soon we'll be looking to leverage the AI capabilities. Over the last couple of days, I have been sitting in multiple AI sessions, and I'm excited. Seeing the record chat, seeing the document, intelligent document processing, AI capabilities. So we'll soon be looking into potentially leveraging those AI capabilities. We are also taking a best of breed approach. So based on the use case, if we are building a workflow solutions within Appian and we can just easily plug and play the chatbot feature, why not, right?
Certainly.
So we'll be looking at it.
That's great. You're future ready.
Yep.
So, perfect. Well, are you open to taking a few questions from the audience?
Sure.
Got a few minutes left here before we wrap up.
Yeah.
You have questions? Yes, in the front. Maybe we'll start.
How big is your Appian team headcount?
So we are building the team as we speak. So right now I have about in the teens who are trained developers. So in about 15 to 20 people.
Great question. Yes, sir.
So you mentioned a few different tracks. So one, you had a track where you had folks that you're upskilling. So I have a few questions. I hope you don't mind.
Sure.
How are you identifying kind of those low-hanging fruit opportunities, less risk that they can kind of begin? Do you have like an organization already within Canada Life that's identifying it, and then your team's kind of taking it?
So identifying those use cases to make sure they are a good fit for Appian, like building workflows on Appian. All that capabilities are within my team, and we are actually building those capabilities. Call it like a COE, but that's also part of my team. So the capability, COE functions, delivery execution, all will be part of my team.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned underwriting, and I know with life insurers, there's a lot of life insurers are sitting on massive legacy systems, which are very difficult to decouple and modernize and so forth. I guess the question is, to what extent do you actually imagine Appian will be able to become really core to the I don't want to call it your underwriting, core system, but to what extent do you see it actually taking over a lot of those functions?
Yeah, or even the enterprise standard that you kind of mentioned there.
Yeah.
The role that Appian plays there.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, we have already made the technology selection to be the enterprise workflow platform. So any net new workflows that will get built will be built on Appian. But as a legacy company, the systems are legacy systems. The technology is, multiple technologies doing work. Having workflow built in, there are multiple workflow solutions built on various other technologies as well. So we'll be opportunistic in terms of when, what, and how to move those solutions, workflow solutions, over to Appian, and we are working on a roadmap for that.
So building on that a bit, I assume that the workflow again sits on top of a system of records, so automatically that is where your policies, etc., will continue to get stored while the workflow plays a role in being more nimble, being more agile, being more responsive to needs. If that is the case, as compared to your previous system, I'm assuming the business users play a larger role in the new system. In other words, they can manage some of their underwriting authority, or they can kind of plan a little more than they could do in the previous system. Can you speak to that balance, that how much more of a business control have you attained with this shift to Appian?
So definitely, the short answer is yes, business will have a lot of control. Underwriting being a complex process, the rules are fully managed by business, right? The rules component, again, is a different technology, but business has the full control to configure the rules, change the rules, do whatever with the rules. On the workbench that we are building using Appian, yes, there are a variety of business user roles who will have a lot of control in designing the, so we work very collaboratively with business. Maybe I have to clarify, even though it started as a tech initiative, it's not just a like-for-like technology, it's not a lift and shift in terms of a like-for-like technology migration. So we are kind of re-engineering some of the business processes. The business underwriter roles are, there are some new roles that has been introduced by the business. So to cater to those roles, the workbenches are built to cater to those roles.
All right, maybe one more question. We'll wrap up. Yes.
So in terms of business transformation, the agility that you're able to do, would you see that this would be part of a function of fail fast, fail forward for your team to be able to even do other types of initiatives, not just rethinking this one that you've done already, but maybe even into future state for where maybe Canada Life wants to be in 5-10 years?
Yeah, so the fail fast, move forward approach is definitely what we are taking. And that's why I mentioned that we do a lot of POCs as well for large use cases, just for the purpose of testing the technical feasibility. We can build something, and technically it could be, technically it is feasible, but we also take care about whether can it scale, right? from a performance standpoint, can it perform really well? So we take that POC approach and then expand it to for large use cases.
And do you work alongside like the executives and investors for what they're looking to do as well, and doing some like out of the box kind of thinking as well, different than just, you're not doing the same system with the current one that you're doing, but you're actually kind of rethinking based on maybe where the business is today. So
Oh yeah, for sure. So a lot of what I spoke about is that underwriting, the solution that we are building, but we have a lot of operational efficiency play as well. So we being a large insurance company on the group life side, there are a lot of use cases that we work very closely with the business users, business stakeholders, senior leadership to those areas are not necessarily technology play. That is really like, to gain operational efficiency. So we work very closely with them to take those use cases, do POCs, and then expand it.
Perfect. Well, Vijay, thank you. It's been tremendously insightful. Appreciate you making time your busy schedule.
Thank you, Jake.
Thanks for all your attending.